caught everyone off guard, not because it was unbelievable, but because it finally happened. David Licauco, always the calm, composed, and sometimes unreadable heartthrob, looked up, smiled in that soft, almost shy way and said it. Not in a movie. Not in a scripted promo. Just him in front of cameras, eyes clear, voice steady. I love Barbie. And in that instant everything shifted. For years, fans have watched them, David and Barbie, or as the fandom lovingly calls them, Barta. They've seen the teasing, the playful interviews, the way they look at each other when they think no one is watching. But still, no one expected he'd say it quite like that. So simple. So sincere. He didn't dress it up. He didn't laugh it off. He just laid it bare. She makes everything better just by being there. The moment he said it, you could feel the air change. There was no going back. The internet exploded, yes, but what lingered wasn't just hype, it was sentiment. People didn't just react with squeals or memes. There were quiet tears, heartfelt tweets, and comments like, "This feels real," because it did. It does. Those who know David personally say this wasn't out of character. It was just a side of him not everyone gets to see. He's private, careful, maybe even overly protective of the things that matter most to him. And Barbie, she's always been one of those things. She always has been. Friends close to them say he lights up around her in ways that are impossible to fake. His voice softens. His laugh changes. He listens more. He leans in. And isn't that what love looks like when it's real? Not grand statements or staged moments, but the quiet, consistent ways one person shows up for another. Barbie hasn't made a statement yet. And maybe she doesn't need to. Maybe she's always known. Maybe this was David's way of catching up to a truth they've both held close. She once said he's her safe space. Words that don't come lightly from someone who's spent her life in the public eye. Their bond has always been more than chemistry. It's comfort. It's trust. It's choosing each other again and again even when no one's looking. Of course the fans want more. They're already dreaming of a confirmation. A movie. A kiss not just written in a script, but born out of something real. But maybe this is enough for now. Maybe love doesn't always need a big reveal or a perfect moment. Sometimes it just needs a little courage. And David gave us that. So where do they go from here? Who knows? But what's clear is this. Something changed. Not just for them, but for everyone who's been rooting for a love that feels genuine in a world that often isn't. And maybe that's what makes this moment unforgettable. Not the words themselves, but the way he said them. Quiet, honest, brave. The kind of love that doesn't need to be shouted to be felt.